morning. Joe Greco asked Joe about money. Today is February 28th, 2023. A couple of minutes before the market opens, and we're going to just take a look at the overnight session first. So we're trading the MES. So this is the micro mini futures contract. And we're going to look at the pre. So this was yesterday. This was yesterday's. Let's mark off yesterday's close first. So yesterday's close here was this green bar, so this one here. All right, so let's go over all of our, these are all, I use these to measure out my trades. So I have these boxes here. This is when I get into trades where I measure my risk boxes and I calculate measured moves, and I do all different things to help me in my trade management. So these are like tools that I use, if you will, like a woodworker in a workshop. And as I'm in a trade, I'm able to manage my risk, and we'll talk more about that. But anyway, I get off tangents sometimes. Let's get back to the charts. So what I want to mark off here, so we have, this is the open of the week, this line right here. That's where yesterday opened. And as the week develops, that's going to be an important number. This here, the brown line, is yesterday close. Okay. Then we have yesterday's high was up here. Yesterday's high was up here. Yesterday's low was up there, was down there, I should say. And then the thinner red lines, this is the overnight low, overnight high. And as we can see, we are selling off right now. So let's just go back to, so this is the overnight range. This was yesterday's close. Now let's go back to the regular trading hours chart. All right. So the first thing that I want to look at here, so the market just opened here. Again, we're never in a rush. Never ever in a rush. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is let's take a look at a longer term. Let's start with the 60 minute. Let's start with the 60 minute, and then we will work our way down. So where are we here? If we look at the 60 minute, all right, so we have a bunch of support here below us. We failed up here, so we could draw a trend line up top here, and then the tighter trend line would be like this. We're at a critical state here because we're selling off here and we're coming into support. As you can see, this is support. And then if we break this, and we're near yesterday's low, it looks like, close to it. But if this breaks, then we're going to have targets right all the way below down here. So at the same time, can this be like, if you look at it this way, almost like an inverse head and shoulders? If this is the left shoulder would be here, this could be the head, and this could be the other shoulder for a reversal back up. And this would be a trade I'd be interested in as well, because we could be the move from here, 79, where we are right now, up to 40.25. That's a good 50 points, 45 to 50 points, just to the top end of here. And we did that in the last couple of days, so that wouldn't be unreasonable. But also we could come down, so we're going to be open here. So that's what the 60-minute chart is showing us. Let's go down to the 15, and again we just see a little bit more in detail what we just talked about. So here's the left shoulder, head. Again, this is inverse head and shoulders, and this could be the potential, right? So now we see this range here. So resistance, support, resistance. Now we broke here. This is interesting because we broke support. So one would say, oh my gosh, it's a breakout. Yes, it did break out. But also we established support at a lower. So basically we went through support. We wanted to see, are there sellers here? Obviously very big sellers, because it went down and then the buyers bought it. And then it went down again and the buyers bought it. And it went down again and the buyers bought it. So we have higher highs here. So this could be the bottom, but back up to resistance, they sold it. Now we're at support. So we're in the buy zone, but the buy zone, okay, the buy zone, once it breaks, that could be a sell zone down here, because look, we have room from, if we take a trade somewhere up here, we have room all the way to down here. So 75 to, let's call it 50. So that's about 25 points just to get down here. But we will see, because we know we're going to have a lot of support down here. We know we're going to have a lot of support down here. on the 15-minute. So let's go to the 5-minute. So let's kind of review yesterday. I mean, I have a bunch of lines here. Let me see, are there any lines I could get rid of here? Let me just get rid of all these trend lines right now because I want to focus in on the 5-minute chart. And right now these are just I just deleted the 20 period SMA. So let me go or EMA, I should say. Let me go to indicators and let's make it blue. I don't remember what color blue I had here now. Let's try dark blue. I think it was on a width of 2. Let's see. Maybe a width of 3. All right, so we know resistance is up top. All right, we know resistance, so we don't need all these trend lines here. What should we be looking at? First of all, let me get this. These are tools that I'll use when I get into trades to calculate measured moves and whatnot. So I don't need that right now, so get that out of the way. And let's zoom out just a bit here. Okay, so let's go line by line. Red line, red thinner line on the bottom is the overnight low. So this is the overnight low. This is yesterday's low. Yep. This is yesterday's low. This is yesterday's close. Okay, so we had a gap down here. And this is overnight high, open of the week, and yesterday's high. Okay, yesterday's high. So let's also, so yesterday's close, we have the open here. Okay, so what's happening so far? Yesterday, so really what's going to be of interest right now is the last 2 days. So we have Friday, which is a range-bound consolidation day, but it found support, longer-term support. And then yesterday, we went up. Some news came out. We stalled here. Some news came out here. And then pretty much from there, it was a distribution day. The high of the day happened here within the first, basically the high of the day was printed within the first 40 minutes of the day. So that's what happened yesterday. And then we sold off one leg pullback, one leg consolidation. We came up to this resistance here. It couldn't break this resistance. And then we sold off. It was not panic selling. This looks more longs, just distributing their longs. That's why I call it a distribution day, because after this news, whatever, this changed something. And I said it at the time, this bar here changed the complexion of the day, because at this point we gap up. If we think about yesterday's character, because we're always talking about what is the character of the day. In other words, what is the context of the day? Because chart patterns in a vacuum, in my opinion, are not very valuable because it's what's happening before that. So now I'm outlining, at least for the last 2 days, again, I'm not predicting and I'm not saying I have an opinion of where the market's going to go. What I am saying is this is what I'm noticing. I'm noticing gap down, buyers, consolidation, higher highs, up to resistance, and now distribution day. So yesterday was not a panic selling day. It was a distribution day back down to support. So markets go from support to resistance, from support. So let's just be aware here that we are at support, right? Let's just be aware that we are at support. So does that mean we do anything? Not right now. We're going to be patient. We're going to be patient. And we're 2 bars in. So not a very big gap down. This was the gap. This is where the market opened. And let's actually label all of these lines. Let's make this I want to make this the open of the day. We can make this dark orange. All right. So let's label all these from the bottom up, so we know what we're looking at here. This is overnight low. Yesterday low. This is open. Yesterday's close. And this would be overnight. This is the overnight high. And then on up top is yesterday high. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. That looks good. All right, so we're about 10 minutes into the market so far. It's coming up to the moving average. Can make that. The color is just not, I don't think that's the color I had. I don't remember. What about just regular blue? It actually looks better. Yeah, I couldn't see the other one. It was too dark. So here's the EMA. So we have a bunch of resistance up here. Here's resistance, right? We have resistance from yesterday. So that so far is on the table. How do I know? Because they just sold there. So someone's watching that. Someone's watching that resistance. We never know who or how, but I like to report after the fact because we could watch behavior. So far, they're selling there. That's also the moving average at resistance. Would I be excited about getting into longs right now? No, not yet. Now, if we see some, like maybe, if this closes as a bull bar, and then we have another bull bar. The problem is we just have a lot of traffic here from yesterday. So we did this zone yesterday where there was a lot of traffic, 987 roughly to 04, 05. You got to expect there's going to be sellers coming back in here at some point. That's the top end of the range there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about longs at this point, to be honest with you, only because I don't see the risk reward there. I mean, obviously at some point, like if this is going to be, like, this is how I look at it. Like if this is going to be the bottom, right? If this is going to be the bottom, there's going to be up and then retrace and then back up. So I would be willing, after I see it up, let's just say, I would be willing to buy the retrace, but to be buying up here at resistance, because once we see buying, it's going to be closer here to the sell zone. So that's going to be a tough trade. Now, on the downside, if I see it reversing down, I could believe more in the downside because we are at support. But if we start breaking decisively, then how I read that is just a rejection. It went up, rejected, and it came down. But let's see what happens. We're about 3 bars in here, and this bar is about to close. All right, so far today, we small gap down, first candle, red candle, 1 bull bar, 2 bull bars. They did sell the moving average, but now it looks like they're buying again. For me, this move up is going to happen without me if it does, because I'm not willing to buy against all of this, especially in the open, where right now we're going through some price discovery. So we probed up to see if there's buyers, so far sellers. Now, that could change, but yeah, to me, I am not going to go ahead, and if this is a trend from the open right now, I'll know because I'm going to see a bigger bull bar. But right now, I'm not. This could easily just be a trading bound open. It could be for the next 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't know. That could be because that was the opening drive down, opening drive up. Now let's just see. We still have some more room to the upside to go, but this could be a range bound open, but we'll see. Could also be a trend day from the open, so we will see. All right, so here's the 4th bar closing, and this is looking to me so far. It's not that it's looking to me. What happened so far is that they drove down, no sellers. They drove up, no buyers so far. So right now we're in this range here, 74 quarter to 91. So what's that? 75 to 90. So about 15 points, roughly 15 points. So this is the opening range that we're in right now. And the reason why I point this out, this is not that I'm predicting, as we always talk about. This is just about being curious on that's what happened so far. Now, is this going to stay in this range here for the rest of the day? No, it is not. All right, here we are, 5 bars in, and so far this is a range bound open. We're not seeing, so we have 2 bull bars, but then we have this bar, and this bar is not a convincing bull bar. So again, this is anyone who went long here after the close of this bar is not liking the activity here, is disappointed by this so far. So we'll see. Is this going to be the point where it rejects back down here to the low and then there's a decision point here, or do we reverse up with at some point they're going to have to put in either a bull bar here to close above all this, because it can't be like this forever, or they're going to have to come down here to support and check again for sellers. So they're not finding buyers. They're not finding buyers off the open. The open is an auction to see where are there buyers and where are there sellers. So far, no sellers below, no buyers above. But that's for now.